Daniel Collins was used to rushing mornings, packing his 7-year-old daughter Lily's lunch, tying her shoelaces, and whispering promises that today would somehow be better than yesterday. Life as a single father wasn't easy, but he survived on hope, and on Lily's smile, which made even their tiny, overworked world feel brighter. On that cold morning, the two of them stepped into the coffee shop that had become their little tradition before school. The place smelled like warm pastries and cinnamon, and Lily loved watching the steam swirl above the cappuccino machine like magic fog. Just ahead of them in line stood a girl around Daniel's age, dressed simply, black hoodie, jeans, hair tied in a messy bun. Nothing about her suggested wealth. In fact, she looked exhausted, like someone carrying invisible burdens. She ordered a latte and a small muffin, but when she inserted her card, the machine beeped sharply. "Declined," the cashier said with a sympathetic smile. The girl froze. A flicker of embarrassment crossed her face, her hands visibly trembling. She fumbled for another card, but her voice cracked as she whispered, I don't know why this is happening." Behind her, people began shifting impatiently. Someone sighed. Another rolled his eyes. Daniel glanced at Lily, then stepped forward without hesitation. "I've got it," he said gently. The girl turned to him, startled. "No, please, you don't have to." "It's really fine," Daniel replied, offering a small smile. "We all have days like this." She stared at him for a moment, her eyes softening with surprise, then relief. "Thank you," she whispered. "Really, thank you." Daniel paid, not knowing that the latte he just bought was worth far more than the few dollars missing from his wallet. The girl picked up her order and stepped aside, watching Daniel and Lily with a quiet, unreadable expression. Lily tugged her father's sleeve. "Daddy," she whispered, she looked like she needed a hug. Daniel chuckled. "Sometimes, sweetheart, kindness is the hug people need." But as they walked away, the girl kept watching them. Something about the gentleman with worn-out shoes and the bright little girl tugged at her heart. She memorized their faces. She didn't understand why, but something inside her knew she wasn't done with them. What Daniel didn't know, what no one inside that warm cafe could guess, was that the girl he'd helped was Amelia Hart, one of the youngest self-made millionaires in the state, and she was about to change Daniel and Lily's lives in ways they never saw coming. Later that day, Amelia sat in the back seat of her sleek black car, her assistant rambling on about meetings and investments. But she wasn't listening. Her mind kept echoing the small, gentle moment at the coffee shop, the stranger stepping up without hesitation. In her world of contracts, negotiations, and people who only approached her for what they could gain, simple kindness felt like a foreign language. She had walked out that morning without her usual card, taking the one she hardly used, thinking nothing of it. When it declined, embarrassment had flooded her, reminding her of the years before success, when money was scarce and fear was constant. Daniel's voice had been like a warm hand pulling her out of that memory. She found herself saying, "Find out who he is." Her assistant blinked. "Who?" "The men from the cafe." "And the little girl?" Her assistant hesitated. "Miss Hart, may I ask why?" Amelia looked out the window. "Because I owe him more than a coffee. And because something tells me he needs more than he lets on." As the car drove away, Amelia didn't know that fate was pushing her toward a story filled with heartbreak, healing, and an unexpected kind of love, the kind that grows in the cracks where life once broke apart. And Daniel, he had no idea that the stranger he helped that morning would walk into his world again, not as a girl with a declined card, but as the woman who would test his trust, his heart, and the very meaning of family. But destiny always circles back. Especially when kindness begins the story.